What's up, guys? Farrell's here, and you're looking at Randy Moss, Ultimate Legend, 95 speed. We're going to talk about him. Is he the best receiver in the game? Shortly. But real quick, Night Train Lane did come out and will be available. We previewed him last night as we got a few of his stats, but now we've got everything, and we'll jump back in over that real quick. The biggest news was that the Egg Rush is here, and you have 10 new solo challenges, 10 game for the Peep solo challenge, 10 Egg Rush reward packs, and 10,500 coins. Eggs will hatch and reveal their hidden rewards between 412 and 416. So stay tuned. If more player items become available to Mudhead, they will drop them on there. Big things in this is a couple nice guys that have come out and hit under the radar. I'm not going to make you wait on the Randy Moss, though. Let me give you the facts on him. 95 speed with 98 spec catch and 95 route running. Now, he has deep threat and route running, so he's going to boost his route running up above 96. You won't need the motivator in your lineup. That's big. You don't need spec in any way. You don't need that Kelvin Benjamin motivator because he's going to spec out at 99 with deep threat. And then his catch in traffic is you can then still use the DeAndre Hopkins in your lineup to get him activated. So you do have to start Moss to push his route running up above 96 unless you wanted to use the motivator, but I think that would be a miss. His catch in traffic, though, you can get the boost from Hopkins. I was going to say then you could bench him and get the playmaker, but you would need him there for 96. But overall, this Moss is 6'4" with 95 speed. The only other receiver that I consider even close to him is Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson that came out. But the reason I think that Moss is better than the Ocho Cinco is because Ocho Cinco's catch in traffic is 93, and Moss's is going to be a little bit higher at 95. You'll still get the Benjamin. And Ocho Cinco 6'1", Randy Moss 6'4". So good elusiveness for a guy that size, good speed. Gibbs says he's not a drag guy. He only likes to run the Z-spot route with him, and then he doesn't like to flip it and have it on the other side. But I think that with this Moss, you're going to be able to do pretty much everything. Still not really the run blocker. You're still going to use the Fitz or the Nelson in that situation. But everything else, he is that guy. So that is the new Moss. Let me know your thoughts on him in the comments if you think he is the best receiver in the game. I certainly do. The Ocho Cinco does have playmaker as well. But as we dig into Night Train, you see he's sitting at about almost $2 million. So I would actually take the Mel Blount or the Ramsey over him just for that price. But 97 hit power is ridiculously ferocious. And then you would need the Emerson in the lineup. I'd like to boost him up to 97 with the motivator if I was going to play man. If not, zone, and you could get the Butler up to 98. None of his coverage stats stack from his chemistry, but he does have tip drill, which I really, really like. That agility's still a little low at 93, and none of it stacks. That's maybe the one knock on him. Block shed up to 80 is a good thing, although if you're going to just play cover 2 with this guy and only play a flat zone, you can probably get a better safety with the power, block shed, and not quite as good of zone, not quite as good of speed, but do you really need that in that situation? So those are the things. I'm absolutely, those three guys, Mel Blount, Jalen Ramsey, and Night Train Lane are 3 great corners you need to have, and then you need to have the Dion and the Champ if you really just want the coverage without the hit power. But there's other ways to get those guys as safeties and put them in the middle. You could put Night Train at free safety. You can play this guy anywhere, and he doesn't have an Easter-specific chemistry, which is good because that will keep him, available longer as it goes on. There you see it, the 80 block shed, 97 hit power. Let's go through the Egg Rush real quick. I picked out 3 of my favorite guys that you might not expect that we'll get to. But first up, AQ Shipley's a center with identifier. He's up above 90 in all 3 areas. If you end up with him as a reward, you're not going to be mad. Hargreaves, good balance, good agility, but I don't like it with the man and the size. So he's fine, he's good, he's solid, but I would pass on him as there's so many other good corners from the Season Stars program. The Bortles at 85 reminds me a little bit of the Andrew Luck that came out, a little bit of the RG3, not as fast, but the deep accuracy being below 90. He's got chain mover and route runner. I don't believe that boosts deep, so I don't think the Bortles at this point in the season, I think 85 speed is great. I think that throw power is great. I think the short's great. I think the medium's great. I don't really care about play action and throw on the run. It's just not 2 things I see a ton of. Obviously, throw on the run could be a factor, but the deep accuracy not at 80, not at 90 hurts me a little bit, in my opinion. But overall, not a bad option if you really wanted to use a Bortles or you didn't want to use DeNuromo, or you didn't want to use Stafford for whatever reason, and you want a little bit more speed. Kiko is a decent CPU cover linebacker, 84 zone, 93 play rec in the middle. 6'3" is a good size. I recommend a lot of guys that are 6'1". Decent block shed. I just wouldn't overpay. There's so many middle linebackers that you just need to hone in on that specific role that you want the guys to use. Linval Joseph, mega sleeper right here. Look at this guy. 96 strength, 96 block shed, and 94 power move. That is nasty for Linval Joseph. Play recs at 89. But I wasn't expecting those physical stats on the Joseph. He's always been a pretty sleepy guy, though, back from when he was with the Giants. Thomas Rawls gets an item. Another guy that I love. 93 speed with 94 truck, and he's battle ready. Agility's a little low, but maybe this is like a Jordan Howard style guy who and has always kind of played well in Madden the last few seasons. So I would look at this Rawls if I needed a decent back. Moses at right tackle gets the secure passer block chemistry there. 95 strength is really, really good, and then good run block, pass block. This is pretty much a legend style guy. Maybe he'll be a little cheaper. We don't know where this will shake out. Emerson's a good man cover corner, but then you wouldn't be able to play the motivator Emerson, so that's the question. The agility's a little bit low with his man. It's not out of the question low. It's just a little low if we're cracking eggs here. 6'1" though. So Emerson's 6'1", 94 speed, 95 man. This is a man cover corner. You just got to see, can he hang with that agility? Can he get his play rec up slightly? And does he play well? He has played well in previous versions of Madden. He was really, really good as a rookie in Ultimate Team. Kevin Green, who we haven't seen at all, was really good at the start of the year as just a straight pass rusher. My first thought is like, oh man, his speed didn't progress as the season went along, right? Like he didn't progress he didn't get another version, so his speed didn't jump up. That's kind of his one downfall at outside linebacker. But if you dig in a little bit, what you see with Kevin Green is chemmed out, you're going to get another speed up to 88 with field general and edge blitzer. 94 play rec, 97 power moves. You can basically get him up to 99 plus. He's got the hit power, the block shed, and the strength all above 90. This is pretty nasty. I mean, he's better than Harrison, I think. James Harrison, who's like a physical edge style guy. Plus, he's actually a reward for playing head-to-head seasons in Ultimate Team. So if you're playing, this is a guy you can earn as just a reward. That's awesome. So, you're not going to drop him into zone. He's just going to be a pure pass rusher. I'd love to be able to get that finesse move up to 90. If you can get that finesse move to 90 with a motivator in your lineup, then Kevin Green, I think, can play every down, even though he's only at 88 speed. Just don't drop. Just, you can cross-man him, but try not to if that's the situation. I really do actually like the Kevin Green upon further review. And then you have Travis Kelce, 90 route running, 90 speed, 6'5". So 95 catching traffic on a 6'5 guy is great. Good spec, good strength, okay run block. But the route running is what I see with the Kelce. If you can get him up to, you can't get him to 96, but if you can get him to 92, do you get a little bit better there? Obviously, he's never going to be Dallas Clark, Jordan Reed, but with his size and speed and catching traffic, is he a little bit more well-rounded? And does he justify that price tag? I think this is maybe a $150K guy. We've got to see if that comes down. But I'd be pretty pleased with this Kelce as a guy that can do a little bit of everything. Another guy that can do a little bit of everything is HaHa here. Look, this guy has always kept his triangle, his trinity, super close. 93 speed, 93 zone, and 89 play rec. But when you boost him up, you got him up at 94, he's above 90, and he stays at 93. Really good block shed. Really good block shed on HaHa with 94 hit power. I like this guy quite a bit. Do your solo challenges. He's going to be one of the better options. He's 6'1". That's really good hit power for a HaHa at this point in the season. But, I mean, if you look at how many versions he's got, you can see why he's progressed really well across the course of the season. And that's kind of the last guy here. But, I mean, Randy Moss, to me, is the guy from the weekend. I think there's also Javon Curse, if you look at Mudhead. So, Javon Curse looks to be the other legend. But let me know what you think about Randy Moss. And if you're going to go for him, if you think he's the best receiver. Not necessarily is he the best, because obviously he's right up there. Does he make it to the end of the year? Does Randy Moss make it to the end of the year in your lineup? His spec can't get any better. My questions are, does he overspec? Did he miss on a couple of his chemistries? He needed route running because he's only at 95, but now you got a motivator that gets you route running. So could he have had something that adds to a quarterback's deep throw? Could he have added to, your offensive line? Because, the deep threat's not going to get him too much more spec. He's already at 98. And the route running is already close to 96. Could he have had something that added to his catch in traffic so you could finally get DeAndre Hopkins out of the lineup? But those are the questions basically for Moss. Like, he's flat out nasty and obviously well-deserving of an Ultimate Legend. And this is a big weekend with Curse, with Night Train, and with some of the other guys out there. So that's all I've got for you in this video. But love to hear you in the comments. And we'll get back to playing some Madden this weekend. I'm still trying to get set up. Working on some new microphone stuff, so we'll see how it goes. Leave me any feedback, and we're gonna rock some games. I'm gonna play some show, and we'll just have some fun out there. So hopefully this video helps you guys. If it does, drop a like. Talk to you soon. Until next time, lock up.